Section 1, abrasive art. There's something that's really interesting about art that, like, pushes you away. You know, audience hostile shit. There's something that's, like, really special about art that's like, you don't know me. You don't know what it's like to be me. I like it when art doesn't like you. It's obvious that experimentation, surrealism, noise, all this kind of stuff comes from the same place of, like, trying to push out the normies. It's trying to appeal to a specific group of people. The normies will never understand my favorite noise rock band. And that's, like, great. That's, like, the reason why I'm listening to that shit. If you're like me, you probably have the same contrarian proclivities towards art. Out of the mainstream, a little weird. Whenever you get a chance to play your favorite kind of music at a function or something, people are like, ooh, why is she screaming? Why does she sound like that? Why do you play harsh noise at house parties? I get a sick kick out of scaring the hoes, man. Dude, there's a cross behind me. Catholicism! But, like, it's not all contrarianism. Like, a big reason why people like this kind of art is because it allows new avenues of expression that popular art simply can't give you. Metalheads fuck with screaming because it's, like, this raw and emotional kind of thing. You can't get that from pop music. I'm so gay and I don't even like boys. I should puke on camera, I think. I'm framing this all under the terms of music, but this can be applied to literally any art form. Slasher films probably have more of like a mainstream appeal than noise rock does, but I think it comes from the same place. That level of violence you're just not going to see. It's something that appeals to you in a way that, like, Bluey can't. I'm gonna start war with the adult Bluey fans. No mercy. I'm going DEFCON 6 on Bluey fans. This is all pretty obvious stuff to anyone that enjoys experimentation and art. I shouldn't have to, like, explain that to you. Like, I'm not exactly appealing to the common man here, you know, with that going on. I think there's something really interesting about, like, super narrow experimental art, like, contrasting with, like, broad lowest common denominator stuff. They should make larger fruits. IMHO. Section 2, guilty pleasures.
Well, there's just a random one.
Now and then I'll watch
The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I don't like to use the term objectively, but Kathy Hilton is as close to objectively hilarious as a rich person can get.
I know that I need to move on, and I will. But it's hard for me to sit there and pretend like everything's great and hunky-dory when it's not.
Who is hunky-dory?
This shit is, like, fucking funny. There's interconnected stories and bits I think about literally all the fucking time. It's all written and acted like all reality TV is, but that, like, only adds more artistic merit to it. Effort was actually put in. My love for this thing is genuine. I'm not, like, misanthropic or irony poisoned about this. I have actual care for this piece of art. So let me ask, what is the core feeling that drives the idea that reality TV is a guilty pleasure and other art is not? That's the LA skyline. Feels great to be out here on the West Coast. Holy shit, dude, it's an alien. Are you embarrassed? Are you embarrassed that you think Kathy Hilton is funny? I was an accident. Yeah, I was actually an accident. I am actually, like, my parents did not intend to have me. Dude, shout out to the aliens. Is it morality? Why can we talk about the Smiths without mentioning how bad of a person Morrissey is, but we can't talk about reality TV without talking about how exploitative it is? I'm not trying to hide the idea that reality TV is fucked up and, you know, it probably contributes to more negative things in society than it adds. But why do we think of The Real Housewives as low art, but The Queen is Dead as high art? Because it's both being made by bad people, right? Fuck high art! I'm like the armored soldier that, like, blocks the king's throne room. I'm like, halt, who goes there? And then I, like, cross, like, lances with the other soldier that stands on the other side of the, like, the throne room doors. Nobody else will defend the artistic integrity of The Real Housewives of Orange County. If you can avoid critiquing reality TV based on morality, congratulations, you've successfully engaged with the art piece. The vibes are trashy and the messy bitch life is not for everyone, but it is for me. The humor appeals to, like, the lowest common denominator. It's not exactly thoughtful shit. I think the vibe-space disconnect that a lot of people have for that kind of art is exactly the thing that draws me to it. I'm a fucking bottom feeder, man. I mean the scum off the pond floor. I'm smoking the algae the other fish won't touch. Section tangent. Kenny Beats infinite wisdom. There's this clip of Kenny Beats that I just can't find. Essentially what he's saying is, when you're about to show your art to somebody else and you preface it with critique, that taints the artistic experience that they could possibly have. He was talking about, like, when you send a beat to somebody and then you're like, oh, it's not mixed, the 808's too loud, I still need to add hi-hats. You're ruining the artistic experience for the other person. They're not gonna like it as much. They might have loved the way it was mixed. I want to expand this idea from just, like, music taste out into, like, general artistic critique. Prefacing discussion of art with moral critique inherently stains what you're trying to talk about. If you introduce it with a bunch of moral disclaimers, you're kind of ruining the art piece. You taint the original vision beyond repair. You know, that's not always a bad thing. I think content warnings are great, especially when they're optional. I use them. Like, that's a good thing to have. My goal is not for you to understand the morality of the art I discuss. My goal is to discuss its artistic merit. Ironically, this kind of taints my discussion of The Real Housewives by including it at all, but, you know, I'm just trying to fix the ways that people talk about art. I'm always trying to be a little bit more esoteric than I was before. I think I'm gonna give up on voice training and just be tipsy all the time. Day drinking, I love day drinking. Section 3, what is this art demon saying to me? Experimental highbrow art and trashy slop have way more similarities than differences. YouTube poop is a genre of video that uses famous clips from popular media, then recontextualizes it with experimental editing, with lowbrow, like, penis-ass humor. Load up. Clip there, please.
Load up. Load up.
It's literally a poop joke. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen. If you can find vintage YTPs from like a decade ago, you'll find that they are kind of fucked up. The vibes are kind of rancid. That kind of stuff could be really abrasive if you don't have a taste for it. But at the same time, that shock humor and trashy vibes, it all comes together in this kind of editing that you're not going to see in any other kind of medium. Despite having so many lowbrow proclivities, YTPs are finally remembered for their experimentation and novelty. 10 years ago, people would call Fesh Pince guilty pleasure. Now they call it Kino. Lowest common denominator slop humor combined with this experimental editing style makes for some really fucking cool art. This is the kind of special shit that's remembered for decades and it's like influential in the next generation of filmmakers. It's fucking sick. Watching The Real Housewives doesn't feel like I'm debasing myself by watching it. It feels like I'm engaging with any other piece of art like normal. These fucking bugs! We can all have a little lowbrow slop. We're all making art here. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Da Vinci, rhyme kickflip, Picasso, the Terrier Davis, the Time Cube guy. We're all making art, man. I think I just listed a bunch of dead guys. Art is my god! Guys, don't get ears pierced at Claire's.